Welcome to this information session covering the funding program, LUCID, the Luxembourg Cybersecurity Innovation and Development Funding Program. It's a program that is co-financed together by the European Commission and the Ministry of Economy. Today we're going to have a very short program. As you know, we have a sponsorship from the Ministry of Economy, so we have a welcome message from Mr. François Thiel. We have a presentation of the NC3 activities and a presentation covering the whole program itself. Okay, so we've received quite a number of questions. And the objective of this session is really to answer those questions and to provide more insight so that you are well equipped in filling your form and providing your submissions. Without further ado, I will let Mr. Thiel come into the welcome message.
So good afternoon. It's great that you are here because we are very happy, as Ministry of Economy is very happy that so many companies, small companies, are interested in launching themselves in development and innovation. That is especially a great pleasure for the Minister who has a very big heart for SMEs, that so many companies are interested. The issue we face, especially in cybersecurity, is that cybersecurity services products, they are often very discriminatory in terms of cost and price, and who else than you, SMEs, can produce tools, services, products for SMEs. 80% of the European market is SMEs, and we are very happy that the Commission has now this year started this so-called cascading funding scheme, which allows SMEs actually to apply on a national level, meaning that you are not having to do all this suicide-ish bureaucracy on the level of the Commission, but you will face a very positive-looking entities from the government, also from NC3, NC3, from Luxinnovation, and from the Ministry of Economy. So we are very happy that you are here, that you are keen on doing this development and innovation. One last thing I would like to say is, of course, we need good products. We need good services, and we invest our money in those products that will be, like Carmelo will explain it, will get out of the process as best in class. This is not a one shot. There will be a second call, and for sure, cascading funding to the benefit of SMEs is only taking up in Europe. And my minister is more than keen in associating himself to this development, because SMEs, as I said, it is 80% of the market, and that are the guys who can solve the problem of discriminatory cybersecurity. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much. Before we proceed to the presentation of the funding program itself, I'll have a pleasure to present the NC3. Right, the National Cybersecurity Competence Center, the National Cybersecurity Competence Center, our missions, our objectives, and share some of our activities. Okay, the NC3 is part of the ECC, the European Cybersecurity Competence Center, and we, as NC3, have received the mandate to be the national coordinator center. That means that each member state, like we have in Luxembourg, do have a national coordination center. And as part of our activities, we really focus on capacity and competence building, where we have programs that really dedicate on awareness raising, toolings that really to support the ecosystem. And again, like the program we have now, how do we foster innovations and create the economy around cybersecurity? So the initiative around funding is to really to boost our cybersecurity initiative, like your companies, your project, really to have more independent cybersecurity services in Europe. Okay, one of the aim of the Commission is really to increase the cybersecurity capacity and competitiveness of the ecosystem at a European level. Okay, and as part of our services as well, we provide guidance. We have several platforms. We have testing platform really to test some of your services that you develop. You want to ensure that it's secure. So you can reach out to some of our services and assess the security of your platform or the services that you do develop. Or you want to create awareness within your companies to raise cybersecurity awareness. You can also reach out to us, and we do provide cybersecurity awareness or assessment. Okay, we call it diagnostic. It's light cybersecurity assessment, where we check all the key controls to ensure that the product or the service that you deliver do respect some baseline security. So some of the services that we provide at NC3. I invite you really to check on our website, to also register to the ecosystem. Information like event we have today are published on the ecosystem platform. To be aware of such events, and also the opportunity to link with a European community of cybersecurity, right? So initiatives that we do here can help you connect to at the European level to extend some of your services within the cybersecurity ecosystem at the European level. So I will let my colleague Camilo, to present the funding program. I think that's really the objective of the session today, is to provide you more information and insight on the funding program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dominique. Good afternoon to everybody. I'm really delighted to be here to see that, this event found a particular interest on the community on Luxembourg. So this for us is really a really good acknowledgement. And because, it's important for us to have the opportunity to work together with the ecosystem, let's say, the company that are going to benefit from this initiative. So what I'm going to illustrate you this in the coming after half an hour is about a program that is being set by the European Commission. And in particular, this program comes from an initiative of the European Cybersecurity Competence Center. So the Cybersecurity Competence Center at European level try to set up a kind of environment, reference environment in Europe in order to coordinate and to stimulate the European community in order to grow up in competencies, in particular in the field of the cybersecurity. And we are a kind of national support as a cybersecurity coordination center. In Europe, there are other 27 competence centers that do the similar things. This is important to underline this because what we are trying to do here in Luxembourg, in reality, is going to happen also in the other country. So what we are trying to set up here is in line with the European references. And this is important in order to stimulate an ecosystem at the European level. Okay, so the initiative is to increase the capacity of the Europe in order to improve the cybersecurity capacity and competitiveness. So the scope and the stakeholders of this program, of this initiative. Basically, we address SMEs. As the ministry described before, SMEs are really the bond, the framework of the economic system, not only in Luxembourg, in Europe. So this is the first call, but we will have another one that will start in November. This is important to know. So if you're not ready for this run, you think also about the next opportunity. I can say also in the coming years, this type of strategy will become kind of regular strategy. So European Commission is going to inject a lot of resources in order to support cybersecurity economy, cybersecurity industry, cybersecurity culture. This project, of course, is being developed in Luxembourg with in collaboration with the ministry and with the collaboration on Lux Innovation. For the first call, we have a total budget of almost 1.5 million, and we split that budget in two calls. So the first run will be around 720,000 euro that will divide in a number of projects. First, half of the budget comes from the ministry, the other half come from European funds. For each project, we are going to finance at maximum 60,000 euro. That it means that if you want to have a smaller project, you can ask for even less. You can ask for less. But the maximum, the threshold is 60,000. And of course, that's the part of the public fund. And we ask you to contribute with at least 20–30% of the budget of the project. So it means that more or less for a medium enterprise, you have to put on the table 25–26,000 euro. For a micro and small enterprise, around 15,000. Okay? What are the eligible criteria? The duration of the project, 6 months. So, as you see, are quite small project. At least they need to be related to this kind of fields of interest. So they must be related to stimulate the growth and the development of SME, so stimulate the opportunity for to increase the increase the cybersecurity of small enterprises. They have to promote or to develop cybersecurity tools or services. They can be sustainable business model, and promote also skills for SMEs. That means practically that not necessarily you have to come out with technological solution. You can think also about service, training, anything that can stimulate, can help to structure and to increase the capacity and the culture and the knowledge of the SMEs. Okay? Okay. Of course, you need to respect some criteria. They are not that difficult. You must be established in Luxembourg, so it means that you need to have a permit, and you have to demonstrate to be able to co-finance the project. So the 20% or the 30% of the budget of the project. Exclusion criteria, all the companies that are struggling, that are in, let's say, difficulty for many reasons, are not eligible. What are the general criteria that we are going to apply, we are going to use in order to evaluate the proposals? Basically, this is the most important. You have to demonstrate that your proposal, your idea is going to help and they're going to have even potentially an impact on the ecosystem, on the economy of Luxembourg. They must be, so they must demonstrate that the idea has the opportunity to stimulate the national market. It must be an original project. So it means that you can't say, I open my cupboard, I take whole project, and I present the proposal. No, it must be something new, something original, something that is really able to stimulate the market, national market. Of course, you have to submit in line the proposal, so you have to follow all the rules. We don't want to receive any proposal, I don't know, from the friends of the friends, or just because they drop on the box, on the desk, in the front. So, and you must be aware that duration is 6 months. These are basically the criteria. A little bit about the time schedule. So the call is already open. It's going to close within a month. So you have still a month for writing a good proposal. Then we are going to evaluate. So we need to have a couple of months. Consider that we are during the summer. We have a couple of months for evaluating and judging all the proposals. The final check will come from the ministry. So we are going to submit all the selected proposals to the ministry that will have the last judgment. And then all the eligible and financed project will run starting from the 15th of November till May. And then we foresee another month to collect some report about the activity, to acknowledge that everything's been done properly. Okay, so again, evaluation criteria, we are going to judge based on the quality, the innovation, the capacity of stimulating the internal market, the efficiency of the clarity of the proposal. So please put a lot of effort in order to explain in a proper way your project idea, your proposal idea, how that idea is innovative, how that project can contribute in stimulating the let's say, Luxembourg environment. So spend time to write a proposal in a clear way. Because I know by experience we are going to collect a number of projects, and sometimes it's difficult because projects are not clearly written. It's difficult to grab immediately what is the potential of that project. I know that takes time, it takes energy, it takes an effort, but it's important to be sure that each proposal is written in a way that allows us to understand the potential of that idea. And of course, try to report why you think that your proposal is a good proposal, not only for the project, but also for the future. Why you ask to develop something that can impact also the future activity, your future activity. That's a criteria really important. If you say, I would like to develop an umbrella because I think we need a new type of umbrella, I said because you saw the umbrella there, you have to demonstrate that that idea is going to be sustainable. It can help you to develop your business also in the future. So it's not just because there is this opportunity to have a 60,000 euro that you are going to propose something. Okay? This is important criteria. So I repeat, clarity, to be convinced that your idea is innovative, could have an impact, and is sustainable. That means that has a potential to be something even more extended, more important in the future. Okay, so as I said already, we have two steps. The first is to collect all the proposal, to judge them. Here you have the deadline, 15th July, midnight. The address where you can send the proposal. And then we are going to select, to judge all the proposal, we are going to select, we are going to submit that proposal, the eligible proposal, to the ministry. The ministry reserves the right to refuse the proposal that they consider not eligible. We are going to provide a support. So if you have a doubt, if you want to investigate if your idea is eligible, is interesting, don't hesitate to contact us. We are able to help you in order to clarify the criteria or whatever kind of doubts you have. From the, let's say, formal aspect, so eligibility in terms of finance, legal requirements, so on, Lux Innovation is going to help us. So you have at least 1 month in order to write a good proposal, and we are there to help you. As soon as the proposal will be submitted, we can help you anymore. So take advantage about this opportunity. Okay, I finish. Now I open the floor to questions. Can be relevant for you, but I anticipate a little bit some questions that maybe can be useful for everybody. And basically, definition of SMEs. So basically our European standards, European references. Micro means there are two, let's say 3 criteria. The number of people working for a company, the turnover, and the balance sheet. According to these 3 criteria, there is, okay, you have a definition of the type of the size of the company. Basically, medium size is I mean, we distinguish between small and micro and medium. So medium, 250 employees. So 50 millions is already something, let's say, quite big. So these are more or less the threshold between the 2 classes of enterprises that we are going to consider. Then, according to the company in difficulties, I mean, we don't invent anything. We refer to some legislation, some reference at the European level. So you can, I quote there the reference. So check if you comply with this criteria or not. Or ask Lux Innovation for that. Again, exclusion criteria. Again, there is a specific reference. If you are not able to understand, if you have doubts or you're in trouble, you can ask us. And so on. All the criteria basically has a reference. Okay, business permit is written on the law. It must be registered as a normal company. If you have that permit, you can apply. If you don't have it, you don't have it. I don't think you're going to found a company within a couple of weeks and then apply for this fund, even because on the criteria, we are going to see if you have really the capacity to develop what you wish to develop. And I don't think a company that is just settled in Luxembourg has the right connection, has the right capability to develop such a project. Then criteria. We are going to select the proposal according to 3 types of criteria. So the first one is about the quality, the excellence. So how your proposal can be stand out of the crowd in terms of quality, excellent, innovation. Yeah. So in total, we can assign 40% of the points. Then we are going to evaluate what is your capacity to implement your idea. You can have a brilliant idea, but then you demonstrate that you don't have a capacity because you don't have the staff, you don't have the experience, you don't have the skills, the tools, whatever. I say that because it's important that you are able to demonstrate when you write your proposal, you're able to demonstrate written paper, and so that you are understood what are the evaluation criteria and you are able to show exactly what are your capacity in order to comply with these evaluation criteria. The last one, as I said before, what is the potential impact? It doesn't mean that your project, that is 6-month project, small project if you want, is going to change completely the future of Luxembourg. But you have to show the capacity of interpreting that what you are going to proposing is able to bring an innovative idea. It has a potential for the future. Okay? Then we make an effort to have all the information that we require in one Excel spreadsheet. So you don't have to use anything else. Download the spreadsheet and fulfill all the requested information there. There is a form. He asks for all the information. You don't need anything else. And of course, I suggest you to check our website and to download the required information. So the guidelines, the template for the application, and also some document that illustrate the reference of the call. I stop here. I thank you for the attention. But before before ending, I would like to thank the staff of my team that collaborate with me. So Julie, Toon, Rosanna, Dominic, and of course Pascal, because it took a lot of energy to put all this stuff together. Thank you. So I open the floor to the question.
I would have a question.
Wait, I give you a micro because.
Thank you. So during the speech you mentioned that the company will have to present that has capacity to deliver the project. And of course, as we are going to develop pretty advanced technical solution, we may not have all the capacity and skill set within our team. So I wanted to ask if the some work will have to be delegated outside of the companies, and most likely will have to cooperate with additional experts. So is it still okay from a program perspective, like to outsource part of the work? Thank you. To outsource part of the work. Because like if we speak about the micro and small companies that deliver cybersecurity solutions, we may not necessarily have the skill set for the front-end or back-end development. And that's part of the project that we will have to manage.
Of course, there are not forms restrictions for subcontracting. Then, in my opinion, it depends what you're going to subcontract. If you subcontract the core part of your proposal or your project, I'm wondering. If you say, I need just because I have to rent a part of a server or of a computing capacity, why not?
Yeah.
Don't forget that there are other state aid schemes in the Ministry of Economy for larger projects, or the longer projects, or the more complicated projects. So if you have, for instance, finding this kind of people within 6 months might be challenging, but you have a longer term, well, applied to another state aid, it is similar, the intensity does not go up so high, but there's still a high state intensity for small companies. This is not the only scheme that exists. This is specific for a really smooth approach of an SME who has never done or rarely done innovation, so they can contact and exchange first with LHC and then with Luxembourg to check if they have fulfilled other things, and then they apply. There's also the other schemes for really as large as you wish projects, what has not been said, but what is critical is the ministry pays after presentation of invoices, at the end of the project. That is, of course, an issue, but we cannot pay upfront because we don't know if the company is really fulfilling what it is saying.
Of course, I'm aware of this. I was asking about potentially outsourcing part of the work because we have a vision of the product and it's long-term vision. That's why and we don't have that much capacity in the company.
Yeah, but as Carmelo said, the Ministry of Economy state aid scheme is interested in having innovation here.
Yes, of course. The product is local, but we may
Not only product, but then to actually create this vibrating ecosystem in innovation, cybersecurity. So you can how do you call it? Give some work outside, but not the core business, because that would not be.
Yes.
It would not come back to the Luxembourg ecosystem.
Thank you.
Does the application has to be written in English? I think everybody heard.
Yes, if it's possible. If it's possible, otherwise.
Is it obligatory in English? Or,
No, it's not obligatory, but I mean.
No. Also English, French,
or German.
German. All 4 official languages of the I mean, English is not official, but that's German, French, English is absolutely, and it's not a beauty contest, guys. It is a contest for SMEs doing eventually first step innovation, exchanging with the experts here in LHC to present an idea that might be interesting. If you get this feedback, if you get the feedback that this is an interesting idea, you go immediately, not after having written all the project, to Lux Innovation, check with them on a very short thing, eligibility criteria, because they can inform you if you are entreprise en difficulté within 5 minutes on the phone. Just call them, tell them you are in this thing. They are also aware that they should be proactive, very responsive, and then only start writing your project and again exchanging with the experts until the deadline where you have to file in the project in the MyGuichet. The timestamp of the MyGuichet is then a period where a very important criteria, the incentive criteria, stops. In European state aid, there's one criteria which is very important, which says if the company would do the project anyway, you are not allowed to co-finance it. So if you start a project before introducing it in MyGuichet and we learn about it, you won't get money. If you start the project the same day as the timestamp MyGuichet, it's eligible. It's not guaranteed that you get money, because it's still the decision of Lux Innovation Ministry of Economy, but the incentive criteria is fulfilled, which is a super strict criteria in European state aid law.
May I have additional question? Because you mentioned that if the project will start before the grant is if the funding is granted, then it's ineligible. But what about eligibility in case there is a product and we are going to build another version with additional functionalities? This is...
That's a new project.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
That's a new initiative, but you should not have, or at least not tell, that you have already started. We should not learn about that. And we will not be able to pay bills that before, because that would reveal that the incentive criteria has not been fulfilled, and you would get nothing. It's very important.
Other question?
First, can we hire new personnel along this project? So inside the project proposal, can we say that, okay, there's this expert in this area, and if granted, I will hire him for 6 months and later on. Is it possible?
I don't know if I get your question. Can
To hire new personnel.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's your project plan, and you have the resources coming from this funding. Why not? I mean,
Thank you.
You must only be aware that the ministry pays on leave. If it's a new employee or not.
My second question is that can you give a little information about the reimbursement strategy? So is it we will make our expenses and then take it from the economic minister in a monthly basis, 3-month basis, something like that?
Once. Once at the end of the project.
yeah.
My final question is that this call especially aims SMEs, or for instance, if we have an innovative idea for cybersecurity training for kids and teens, is this also something to try?
The target of the project is kids.
Yeah.
Or teens.
Sensibilisation stratégie. just talk to them in detail. Yeah.
Okay. Other questions? Okay.
Do you plan to offer some kind of visibility during or after the whole process about the different proposals to us? I mean, maybe we could find some synergies or convergence between us.
It's not foreseen. We are thinking about maybe in the end of the process, yeah, but we are thinking about because for us it's important to stimulate the ecosystem. So to really to have the capacity of making the system growing, and this kind of opportunity can help in order to stimulate the ecosystem. So I don't know if for this run we are able to organize such things, but for the next one, yeah, for sure.
I have a counter question. Do you think about matchmaking between companies or on the content of the project?
Maybe just the content for first, but yeah, matchmaking could be an option. Yeah.
6 months is difficult to, but it's a good idea, because the aim of this project is actually to gain in maturity and to be able to go on the things that have been developed. So maybe in November there's a company coming with an idea, and we tell them, listen, there's Cognostics, they have already done something. Associate yourself with them and continue where they stopped. Yes, yeah.
I don't know. I'm reflecting. I mean, the two companies must be Luxembourgish. Yes, I would say so. Because we receive a lot of requests from France, from Germany, and we always say, no, you are not eligible because you don't have a Luxembourg permit. So the same things for matchmaking.
Maybe to add on this, and looking at the more European perspective, and as already mentioned, this is I would say in German you would say an Einsteigerprogramm, so a first step program for small projects. And if we see during the evaluation, or if at the end of the project, or of the different calls that will come, so this is the first one, there will be others, we identify, or there's a potential matchmaking with other projects, be it from other countries, or be it to really do something bigger. Well, there is the I would say overarching Digital Europe program, which is the full European projects, which are way more complicated and way more complex type of projects. But these are things that run in parallel, and this is also where the NC3, the National Cybersecurity Competence Center, can support companies to help to apply to bigger projects, be it on the national level or on the European level. So I would say the idea is that it's all connected, and that the objective with having created these national centers in all countries is really to make sure that we can embrace the competence of all the different companies within the European network and interconnect them, and I would say build competence for Europe bottom up.
I take the advantage of this remark to announce that the 3rd of July, in collaboration with the NCC Belgium, NCC Netherlands, we are organized information day about European project, basically Horizon project and DEP, Digital European Program project, that is more in line with bigger project, big community, European synergies, and so on. So this is something that tries to stimulate the strategy to improve this, to implement the strategy European Commission, but it's not the only one. So be informed that there are other instruments, other initiatives, and if you need advice, come back to us. But keep in mind, maybe we'll forward this information in coming days. We didn't finish the agenda, but as soon as the information is available, we are going to circulate the references. There is some question online. I have to take my Okay. Which kind of expenses can be considered in the funding? Okay. You can find the answer on the guidelines. All the criteria are listed there, but as far as I remember, basically cost for personnel, for consumable, for equipment, basically for everything. We don't reimburse holiday.
A small comment from my side: if you buy 5 laptops from Apple for €5,000 each and consume 50% of the budget, will not be eligible.
Another question. Are foundations eligible for funding? These are, I don't know if I'm able to answer. It depends on the criteria, legal criteria of foundation. So if a foundation can consider as a company, an economic actor. So I will say the foundation then, okay. Taking question for only is going to be, no, okay. These are the 2 questions. If they want to add the other question.
Arash, you had a question. You may ask now.
Okay.
Can I be heard, or just to make sure that? Okay, thanks a lot. So this is Arash Adashvanda from Speaking from Abstractions Lab. Thanks a lot. This is really looking very promising. Pascal, Francois, everybody, thanks a lot for putting this together. I'll have 2-3 questions, but I'll try to pack them together in a connected way and see. So I got the overall message in terms of what this is targeting, but what I imagine is that a typical SME perhaps would fall within this paradigm, but if just for the sake of the argument, imagine if you have SMEs where largely consist of senior staff. If you could give us an estimate, at least in your view, of what you would give a high enough, let's say, number of points for it to at least get past the first filter. To make it concrete, if you put in 2-3 days of 2 senior staff members, you might be looking at a significant chunk of the cost of the project already going into preparation activities, which would be disincentivizing people to go into it. So I imagine, given the topics that you presented, that one could potentially move away from tool creation, which is something that I initially had in mind. But given the, let's say, the cost factor here, it's a bit prohibitive. But you mentioned raising awareness, education, and all that. In that respect, could you maybe narrow it down or give us some topics? What would be of interest to the ministry and generally the ecosystem? Quantum, crypto, threat intelligence. I mean, what would one have to focus our resources? What do we have to look at? My follow-up question would be, suppose we go for something like this, and you mentioned there's a second call. Is there any mechanism that would lower the barrier in terms of constructing a project as a follow-up of another? For instance, we go into this, we'll plan it in advance, so to speak, a first one being a pilot project, and we kind of follow up on that in the second project, obviously if the first one is successful, but then at least we can kind of orchestrate and, let's say, mitigate the cost factor this way. Thank you.
Yeah, I give you a very blunt response. If you burn 50% of the budget to file your project, you should not do that. Just call Carmelo and explain the idea. He will tell you if this is going to if this is going to work. Second one is maximum co-financement of the ministry and the commission is €60,000. You can do whatever size of the project you like. We co-finance €60,000. With this, vehicle, but as I said, there are other vehicles like the normal state aid, or which is now coming, that is cross-border SME projects between three SMEs, three different countries. You get similar rates of intensity of funding, but I think in my how do you call it experience with you guys, we do not go quantum, we do not go all this complicated stuff because then the tool is not suited. This is 60,000 euro, and there's only one submission within the 2 calls. So you cannot do follow-up call. This is not possible. But I would advise you to go really research with the normal state aid schemes, not this program. This program is really to get in touch with first steps in cybersecurity, get in connection with other companies. So that is something you have already done since 15 years. I think it's find something easier, smaller, not Arash kind of projects.
Okay, thanks, Francois. But I mean, I got my answer, but just to clarify the first part, which may have caused a small confusion. The cost that I was talking about is not something that would even make its way to the ministry, so people would not have a view. This is just a pre-sales activity for staff to work on it, and this is not reported. So you would not include this in the cost report to the ministry, say if it's 15 or 20%. I'm here looking at maybe 5 to 10% just on the entity applying might be already prohibitive to incentivize to even apply for it. But you probably see it the same way, and I agree. And just to finalize, the example with quantum was obviously just an example. My point was that maybe it's still interesting for such entities if it's about raising awareness and doing workshops and, let's say, putting together technical reports, as opposed to building a tool and products which would require more resources and a different kind of planning.
Okay. It's a general terms. I would like to remind that these projects are meant to stimulate and to have an impact on the ecosystem. So be focused more on the capacity of demonstrating that your project will have even a small impact, but an impact for Luxembourg, not for searching new research detail. It's not academy, it's not a research project, it's really for stimulating the ecosystem. So I will prefer to have a project that's able to put together in synergy 2 companies because they're able to collaborate in order to develop a new service, than the most disruptive technology that maybe within 10 years it will be able to be covered in a large worldwide scale market, okay? Just keep in mind this general criteria, this general approach. Yeah.
Thank you. My question is, I have a project. We evaluated with business mentor angels in University of Luxembourg incubator. So I applied business permit now. I am planning to start my company around August. My question is, should I target November call or can I apply to this one as well?
Yeah. Okay.
Bad news, you cannot apply at all.
Oh, okay.
Because you're too young. You are fully fit in startup programs. There is lesser criteria, lesser, how do you call it? But this is really for entities that have customers and that would like to go forward. I would advise you to go direction startup programs. That is where you better fit. Because in our case, you must have a customer, or you must do it for yourself, so you must be able to explain it's sustainable. You are still in the, I don't know where, maybe in the sub-idea phase, and this is after, 2 years after.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, approximately 2 years, earliest. Okay.
Other question?
I have a question for the
superstar.
We did some 20 years ago, no, not that, 10 years ago, also a research thing that was funded by the LU-CID, where we had to prove that it was going to not succeed. That was the reason that you could get funding, is to say because there was too much risk to be successful, so that you cannot get funding.
That is the incentive criteria. Actually, this is the same spirit again.
Yeah.
It's not, we are in a different context, but you are completely right.
So my question is, in fact, is here, can you show that it will be a success, or have you to show that there is a big risk, but there can be also a success if it works?
Yeah, actually, in all these state aid applications, you should always say that I have a very good idea, big potential, but the risk is high, so I would not like to start a project myself immediately. I'm asking for funding, and if that is actually the thing you should say, because if it's a project that you must do because of a legal obligation, NIS 2, DORA, it's not eligible, or if it's something that is so super sure making you a millionaire, you will not get money.
But if I do something that could help people for NIS 2 or DORA?
That is something else. You do, also the legal obligation must not be with you. You do not create something for you to fulfill legal obligation.
Okay.
But of course, if you help people to fulfill a legal obligation in NIS 2, DORA, whatever, of course, that is a product, a service you provide, because we do not forget that in NIS 2, there are a lot of SMEs that are falling under the scope of NIS 2, and they don't know where to turn themselves to find tools and services that are affordable, so that you can stay provider for an opérateur de services essentiels important.
Okay, merci.
Okay. So, if there are no more questions, I will say that we are there for helping you. We have a month to go. If you're not ready for this call, consider also to start to shake your ideas for the next call. And we can help you also in preparing that. We are in charge for that, so it's our duty to be there in order to support you, to support the community. So if you have the capacity, take advantage of that. Yeah? And in any case, if you have other question in coming days, don't hesitate to contact us, and we'll try to answer as soon as possible. Okay.
Yeah, speak the ideas, guys. Don't write the whole project and then ask. Ask before. If you have an idea, ask. Then you know that the investment of writing makes sense.
If you don't have an idea, change work. Okay, thank you very much.
Juste pour avoir une